Hi, welcome to the 5 Themes of Geography with me, your host, Ms. Patterson. Now, if you recall, the 5 themes of geography include location, place, region, movement, as well as human and environment interactions. And since we've already spent a couple of sessions discussing the first two, we're going to dedicate this session to regions. So let's get started. Now, regions are most often defined as places on Earth that have at least one common characteristic that unify them. Regions can be very, very big. This could include the entire Earth, the Eastern or Western Hemisphere, a group of countries, or a group of states. Regions can also be much, much smaller. This could be one country, one state, a city, a plot of land within the city, or even something that's the size of your bedroom. So how do we determine what these unifying characteristics might be? The first unifying characteristics that we may look at might be physical features. And these are all those natural things we find on the Earth's surface. These are landforms such as mountains, flat lands, as well as plateaus. It could also be bodies of water, such as rivers, or larger bodies of water, seas and oceans. We also look at human features or cultural characteristics, and these are all the different things that make the human race what we are. This could include architectural styles, languages that we speak, religious practices, as well as economic and government systems. So now let's look at a couple of examples. Our first example is looking at regions based on their physical features. The state of New Mexico can be broken into 4 physical feature regions. This includes the Colorado Plateau, the Basin and Range region, the Rocky Mountain region, and the Great Plains region. Now, some of the physical features that help determine what these regions are or what their common characteristics are include climate or their overall weather patterns over a long period of time, landforms, what type of landforms do we find at each of these locations, as well as plant and animal life. So if we were looking at the Basin and Range region, we know that this region is made up of large mountains that have very, very long valleys in between. We also know that the climate is very dry with little rainfall, and the animals that live here include things such as the state bird, the roadrunner, coyotes, and snakes, and smaller rodents. If we were looking at the Great Plains region, we know that the landform is just incredibly flat land. In fact, it has some of the flattest land in all of the United States. Animals that live here include the javelina, as well as bats and snakes. And the climate has incredibly hot summers and incredibly cold winters. So now let's look at some of those cultural characteristics that unify a place. Now, when we look at human features, we're looking at the culture or its cultural characteristics. Did you know that South America, Central America, and New Mexico can all be classified in the same region when we look at their colonial history? Each of these locations was originally colonized by the Spanish. And when they did this, they brought their culture with them. So even today, if you go to this region, you may find people who speak Spanish or practice Catholicism. So now let's do a quick review. Today, we talked about the theme of geography known as region. We know that regions are classified by unifying characteristics. We also know that these unifying characteristics include both physical and cultural features. And examples that we looked at today include why Latin American countries can be unified together based on their cultural characteristics, and how New Mexico is broken into its different physical regions. Well, that pretty much does it. I hope you learned something new, and I can't wait until I see you again next time. Have a great day.